1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hello and welcome to Truth, Beer, and Podsequences. So this is the podcast where my co-host and I listen to all the Cincinnati-based craft beer podcasts from the previous week, and we get together at our podcast host, which is here at Higher Gravity Summit Park, Blue Ash, and we give our version of the truth of how those podcasts went, and hopefully there aren't too many consequences from the hosts of the other podcasts. And I've said it for a few weeks now, a couple months now. So far, so good.
We're doing pretty good, although I will say after our live show, when they are face-to-face with us, we could have a different outcome.
That could be. I am Marco. I am a taproom manager here locally,
Woo!
And that voice you heard is the best co-host in Podcastlandia.
I am Julia, and I am a drinker of all the craft beers here in the Cincinnati area. And I also really love to write funny things about craft beers, especially during beer vent season. So huge shout out to Higher Gravity and their beer vent calendars, which are on sale now at Higher Gravity Craft House, HAUS.com. Pre-orders are happening now. They'll be available for pickup sometime around the Thanksgiving-ish week time frame. If you order one, you'll get an email letting you know when they are ready. It's amazing. It's fantastic. They will sell out, and once they sell out, they cannot make any more. So please get your orders in. It's going to be a good time.
Again, big shout out to our podcast hosts, Higher Gravity, Summit Park, Blue Ash. There's a lot of stuff going on here in Blue Ash, and so listen to our calendar episodes and mark your calendars for the stuff that's going on, happening. There's an Oktoberfest that's going to happen steps from where we are right here. That's going to be awesome. Also happening as this releases, Monday, September 12th, we will be live at Fretboard Brewing in Blue Ash doing Truth Beer Pod Live. So hopefully those of you locally who like and support the show get the opportunity to come out and see us live. So
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
It's going to be a great time, yes. So this is technically a craft beer podcast.
Yes.
We may not talk specifically about craft beer, but we do talk about podcasts that talk about craft beer. In line with that, we need to let people know what we are drinking. And we both have the same thing in our glasses that I kind of forced upon you, but you feel is pretty good.
It is good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So we are both drinking out of our own glasses. We're not sharing a glass because that would be weird. From Carlsberg Brewing, their Danish-style Pilsner.
Nice.
No specific name. It is in the wonderful Liverpool FC branded cans. Gorgeous red. Go Reds. They're doing wonderfully. That 9-0 win was something else a couple weeks ago. And I'm really enjoying this beer. That was them.
The
9-0.
One of the other podcasts that I listen to or watch on YouTube, which, by the way, our episodes also post to YouTube.
Hell yeah.
No video.
Yet.
We're
getting there.
But I was listening to somebody made some sort of sports media claim. It wound up just blowing up in their face because they wound up losing 9-0, and I didn't know at the time that Chris Whittingham was talking about that game.
It was definitely spectacular.
Hell yeah.
But in addition to this being a beer and a sports ball game,
Sure.
a sports ball podcast, and a game, because, I mean, life's a game.
That's
Why
right.
not? We listened to only 2 Cincinnati-based craft beer podcasts this week.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It happens from time to time. I'm glad that we have something to talk about. Otherwise, you guys would get God knows what.
Yeah, we were running into today, gonna stare at each other with microphones in front of our faces.
Yes. It would just be like an hour-long show, just the ambient noise here at Higher Gravity Summit Park. But instead, we got lucky. Some of our favorite podcasts put out episodes for us to talk about, just for us, not for anyone else. They only put them out because they knew we wanted to talk about them.
Us.
Exactly. And one of those is Shift Beers.
Yeah.
And the other one is, I'm going to do it, the Cincinnati Brewcast. Cheers.
Right. We drink because we say that name wrong.
I mean,
for
I
those
said
of
it.
you following along at home.
Yes. And if you want to do more than just follow along to our podcast at home, but want to support us, we are on all your favorite social media platforms at Truth Beer Pod. Send us an email, truthbeerpod@gmail.com. And as Marco already said, listen to our episodes on the YouTubes, and we'll give you a full rundown of that and other ways to support us at the end of the episode.
Yes, we will.
All right, so Marco, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Let's go with the Cincy Brewcast because we do like to end our shows talking about shift beers.
Yep.
Nothing against any of the other podcasts, but we do have a fun little end game that we like to play with shift beers.
Yes.
So this episode of the Cincy Brewcast was kind of a mini episode. He was out camping and decided I still need to get something out, which thank you to the gnome.
Sure.
Definitely wasn't
Appreciate
required, but it was cool to get. This was a Showdown in the rain. He did one of his Oktoberfest Quest face-offs and recorded everything for us while he was camping out in a backyard somewhere, I'm sure.
No, that's where he camps, in his in-laws' backyard.
Yes. So, like 5 feet from the back porch. So
From
that
civilization.
way, exactly. So that way, if things get a little too gnarly, a little too, and the mosquitoes get bad, they can just go inside, sleep on the couches, and it's all great.
Right.
This one was Braxton's October Fuel versus Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Have you had October Fuel yet this season?
I have not.
I haven't either.
I have not. And
What's up with that? What's up with that?
Do they have it? Do they have it in cans here? Could we grab a can afterwards?
Maybe,
You're
I don't know.
You're the one facing the cooler.
I am
so
facing the cooler,
maybe.
and so far, I don't see it.
All right.
I haven't had any yet this season.
All right, I have not either, and I have not had Sam Adams Oktoberfest either. So
I haven't had that either.
So we will have to go with.
And looks like it's not here either.
I think the proprietors of this fine establishment may need to rethink their Oktoberfest purchases. Probably not for this season. It's a little late.
I think what they would tell you is, we sell what moves, Julia.
Fair point. This episode, Gnome said, was recorded on his phone. He didn't have headphones. He had no idea how anything was going to sound. So he was very kind of apologetic in the beginning. Like, I hope this sounds all right. I thought it sounded great. Like, whatever he's doing to record on his phone, we need that as like a triple backup plan because as I kind of didn't add it to the last episode just because I wasn't sure of how it would turn out. But thanks to everyone that has monetarily supported us, we have new equipment that will allow us to be more mobile and to record from more spaces that we're using today.
Yep.
So huge thank you for that. But if all the gnome was using was his phone for this episode, my God, it sounded fantastic.
It did.
The quality was amazing.
Sound quality was very good.
Yeah. And I'm just going to throw this out there. He could have put out a 3-hour-long episode that was just the sound of the rain.
I thought about that.
Oh my God. Every time you could kind of hear that in the background, I'm like, this is what I live for. The sound of the rain on kind of a canopy, like a tent top, and the leaves and the ground. Absolutely loved it. So huge props for having a tiny little ASMR component to the podcast that I know he didn't intend for, but it sounded great.
Yeah, it sounded good.
Sounded fantastic.
It sounded really good. That's him just flexing his muscles, though.
It's true.
That's him flexing his
This is
podcast
true.
muscles. He's like, I have all this podcast equipment. I can do video. I have a studio. I have all of these things. I can go wireless with a backpack or a fanny pack. I have so much stuff. I can do all of these things. They're like, no, you know what?
But I am so good at podcasting.
I am going. He went to West Virginia and had bags and bags and bags of shit, and he decides to go camping. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna flex my muscles here. I'm gonna record a podcast on my phone. Then he, has a little conversation with the wife in the middle of the podcast.
Which I happen to have a multiple choice question about for the end of the recap, which isn't going to be long because the episode was just under 15 minutes long. So our recap is
going to double that, usually going to double that. So, okay, but flex his muscles. That's just him. He's like,
so good.
Oh, all of you podcasts out there, all of you trying to, get your equipment and do things bigger and better and figure things. I'm going to show you this.
Yeah.
And do this on my phone. How about that
And here I am trying to figure out how to turn knobs instead of use sliders, which the hand motions for that are That needs to
If
be
you're
on
on the Patreon.
If you're on the Truth Beer Pod only fan. No, this doesn't go on the Patreon. This goes on the Truth Beer Pod only fans, because we were both making some motions that
With the sliders. The little sliders.
the little knobs, the little buttons. Oh, good God. Gnome, please continue to teach us in the amazing ways of podcast magic, because it was great. So
Yeah.
getting back into the main component of this episode, it was a very difficult Oktoberfest beer pairing that he had made between Braxton and Sam Adams.
I call bullshit.
I don't know.
I call bullshit. Everyone's tough.
This
Everyone's
is
tough.
true.
This is so
This is
tough.
true.
Oh, this is the hardest thing I've had to do today. By the way, I'm going to do this 4 more times later.
And I've already done it 3 more times before I recorded
Right.
this, just to make sure I'm ready for it. Though I will say, if you're a longtime listener and supporter of the Gnome, you will notice that he has a tell for when he really enjoys a beer or any beverage, like when he really enjoys what he is doing a video or a podcast about.
Right.
So when you're listening to this episode, there is a tell that you can use to figure out the winner before he announces the winner, which we're not going to tell you because it's a 15-minute, less than 15-minute long episode. Why the hell aren't you listening to it?
Right, just listen.
Just listen
We're not
to
gonna
it.
tell you. No.
But I absolutely loved hearing that little tell, and I went, oh, I bet this one's the winner, and it was. So definitely something fun, like a little, I don't even want to call it an Easter egg because it's not like something he's intentionally putting into the episodes, but very cool. It sounded like he was having a great time camping, even though it was very rainy. The sound was great. The background rain was probably my favorite part of the episode. Screw the beer, give me the rain.
Wow.
No, there's your next
Wow.
your next creative endeavor is just giving us recordings of rain. You'll
Right.
get millions of views on
In
YouTube
between
for
drinking with the gnome, Cincy Brewcast,
Dancing with the Gnome that we
Dancing
talked
with the
about last
Gnome.
week.
Yeah,
Everything
and all
else,
of his
pros,
Gnome
yeah.
Creative. Coming time to
sure-
do all the.
I'm sure he has plenty of free time to do
senior
this.
pictures that he's going to have to take.
Yes. I'm telling you, those are going to be some of the best senior pictures that those kids have ever had.
Probably going to take
Hands
him to
down.
his in-laws' backyard and do senior pictures back there.
That's a great idea for those that want kind of the more rustic looking senior
exactly.
pictures.
Yeah.
Excellent. But definitely check out this episode of the Cincy Brewcast. And was there anything else before I have my final note, which is a multiple choice question about this particular episode?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay.
You want to lead in? You want something for the multiple choice?
Oh, yeah, because I liked how we did that last week's episode. So let's have... Do you want to just go for Morgan Freeman to introduce this multiple choice question?
Yeah.
He is a favorite.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, let's do it.
Let's call Morgan.
All right.
Hello, this is Morgan Freeman. What you're about to hear is going to change the way that you think about life and nature and the universe. This is Julia's multiple choice question.
Oh, that was so good. All right, in this episode...
Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you, Morgan. We really appreciate you. In this episode of the... I'm going to do it. The Cincinnati Brewcast.
Cheers.
Cheers. What did Gnome and Mrs. Gnome yell across the yard at each other about? Was it A, Gnome poking things that he shouldn't be poking? Was it B, new hats and headwear attire? Or C, who's supposed to be watching the kids right now?
Or I'm always here to give you the D. So D.
Give us the
Are
D,
you
Marco.
drinking again?
I mean, that's a fair question that they would be yelling at each other about. So yeah, listen to the episode, find out, and let us know if you picked correctly
There you go.
on what Gnome and Mrs. Gnome were screaming at each other back and forth in the yard.
What's that? Morgan said, "Good job."
Oh, cool. Thank you, Morgan.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Julie said, "Thank you."
Nice. That's what we have for Cincy Brewcast. We're both still good in our beers because this
Yeah.
is going to be a quicker show, quicker recap. So let's go ahead and dive into Shift Beers, episode 96. They're final. We mean it this time. I'm serious. We mean it this time. My God, please believe us. We are never doing this again. Seltzer Show Part 2, a.k.a. the corn episode.
Yeah.
There was a lot of corn happening in this.
A lot of corn.
It was a thing.
Yeah, it was a thing.
It was a thing, for sure. All four of the normal castmates were there. You had Josh, Chris, Beth, and Brian.
Yep.
There were some great drunk line calls that they played. They had, Vladimir Putin called.
I can't believe it. It was
How
crazy.
in the hell did, okay, so we know that the drunk line
that
number.
He could listen to.
Right, of all the numbers he could dial. Now, we know that the drunk line number has made it into the vast reaches of Saskatchewan, Canada.
Correct, yes.
So I guess, because I think you can see Russia from Canada, it's not that much of a stretch. Sure,
I know you
why
can
not?
from Alaska.
From Alaska. I mean, it's practically next door.
Okay.
So I guess it's not out of the realm of possibilities that Putin figured out the drunk line and called it.
How was that ramen, Julia?
That ramen was amazing.
Okay, good.
I mean, it's ramen. It's not, you know.
It wasn't.
Just it was good. I enjoyed it. Every now and then, I'm in the mood for ramen. Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
And yeah, so especially after you've had some beers, sometimes ramen is exactly what you need.
Yeah.
And I don't need to justify that.
No, you don't. Of course not.
To answer one of the questions that they pose in this episode, because you know that they always throw out little tidbits of things for me to research and look into for them. No, Cincinnati Christian University does not exist anymore. But I am kind of curious where Brian's family is in Price Hill to see if I can throw stuff at them from where I live over in that same area.
Okay.
It's a big area-ish, so you never know. They're probably nowhere near, but just knowing that that Brian could be in my neighborhood at any given day terrifies me.
Him and his head tattoo?
Yeah, I like the colors. That. That's cool.
I saw it.
That's cool.
Up front and personal.
Nice.
Yeah.
I only saw the picture on the Facebooks,
Yeah.
but looks good. It gives me a headache just thinking about it, but man.
Well, everything that goes along with it too, right? Because we got to talk for a little while.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I haven't slept well in days.
Oh, I bet not.
Because you can't put your head against the pillow like
you have
that.
to side sleep or
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, just put your head. If you sleep with your head against the pillow and you wake up and you just.
Oh yeah, it's all sticking and.
Just rip that bad boy right off. And I told him what he needs to get is one of those, those massage chairs where your head has a hole to sit in.
Yeah.
I was like, you should.
The little donuts or whatever. So you're sleeping facing your head's in there.
Sleeping there just like that.
They sell desktop versions of those, so you can prop them up and so you're sitting at a chair and you just lean forward and your face is in the donut hole.
I bet he wished you would have told him that last week.
He didn't ask.
Oh, that's true.
He didn't say, "Hey, Julia, I'm getting a head tattoo. Do you have any suggestions for how to sleep comfortably?"
Well, once
I would have said,
your hands,
"Hey, that's
might as well get one on your
on
head."
your head, yeah,
because you're already unemployable, right?
Although where he has it, once his hair grows back over it, I mean, that's not the worst place. It can be hidden if you want it to be hidden. Just saying. Nick. How many tattoos do you have, Marco?
I have. I'm
Exactly.
None.
Exactly.
Zero.
And there is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Josh had a very creepy drinking story that didn't involve you, surprisingly enough.
Well, part
of it did. But the creepy part had nothing to do with you. I was very impressed.
No.
But yeah. Yeah, the things that Josh kind of experienced were things that you hope that you just don't want any part of that.
And they say we complain that drinking's half the episode. We're not complaining.
No, we're just bringing it to your attention.
That's all. But
it's
bringing
great.
it to your attention.
We wouldn't have half of the amazing stories that we had. I didn't even mention how long Drinking was. I didn't have any notes about it, anything like that for this
Drinking
episode.
could actually be its own
Its own
episode.
show. Yes.
And then they could put out another episode.
With their topic. They really could.
Yeah, they could.
Guys, we will
welcome.
take 30% royalties for this idea. If you know,
60-40 split our way.
perfect, done.
Get
done
back
deal.
to us, COB, tomorrow.
I like how they talked more about in drinking, like the whole Campari, and we told them that they need to buy Campari and they need to do, the spaghettis and all that.
Yeah.
So
I took shots. I
Truth
want
Beer
a shirt.
Pod. Yeah. Hopefully shirts are going to be here soon. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. We'll see. We are convincing everyone to buy blocks,
Yeah.
and Shift Beers is convincing everyone to buy Campari.
Campari.
Well, words. Why not? What did I say?
Campari.
I think I'm still stuck on like the gnome camping, and so just camp is in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm making shit up.
That's okay.
That's fine. It's fine. Pronuncification is what we do best here.
Yeah.
It really is.
The mispronunciations.
Let's see. This episode, they drank more seltzers. I don't know why they continue to do this to themselves.
They like it.
They do like it. They don't like to admit it.
They'll tell you they don't. And they'll tell you that they don't
and
like it.
I have a feeling that in the moment when like they are so bloated and just so full of carbonation, they probably don't. But I think after the fact and before even like looking at what they're going to be drinking for the episode, I agree with you. I think that they actually do really enjoy the seltzer episodes.
I think that's what drew Beth back. 'Cause
Probably
she was a little MIA for a little bit, and then she was like, "Oh my
She's like,
God, we're going to do seltzers again? Yeah.
Rosé all day. Super awesome. Let's see. What did they have to drink? The Alani multi-pack, Owl's Brew, and Flying Embers, which some were better than others.
Yeah.
The Astra is still the worst of all the seltzers that they had. But, not everyone can be a winner.
No.
Apparently, the place that they don't work at uses tragedies to name and promote their spirits and their drinks. Even though there are other places like one of the seltzer companies, breweries, whatever you call places that make seltzeries. Is it still considered brewing when you're making a seltzer? I guess it depends on how you do it.
Oh, wow.
You know what I
That's
mean?
a
Like,
whole
I don't
big-
know. Right, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
whole
So
big thing right there.
all right, so I will
Yeah.
So I will avoid going down that rabbit hole. One of the seltzers that they drank even mentions 100% on the packaging that, hey, this brand was birthed out of tragedy. Yet the place that they don't work at mentioned something not even related in any way, shape, or form to a tragedy, but someone decided to see that and make a mountain out of a molehill, quite literally.
Yeah.
Very interesting. It's kind of crazy how some of that stuff spreads like wildfire. Socks. They had a lot of sock talk.
That was shocking.
The amount of sock talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
like they went
shocking.
on for like 20 minutes about socks and everything involved in socks and their sock habits.
Yeah, what they do in a sock or what what
Clarify that, please. Well, or not. Oh God,
No, no.
this is gonna. Although Beth didn't. Although I
Well,
guess
they mentioned it. Yeah, and that's what. Yeah,
Yeah.
they mentioned that.
Yeah.
But the.
Oh, my God.
The sock talk. Let me just say, I was shocked. Okay, as a guy who, yes, I understand personally. When I get a hole in a sock, they're done. Like toss them.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
But
Do
the
good.
frequency or the rate at which and brand loyalty that they have
Mm-hmm.
to said socks blows me away. Like it's not one of the things that occupies the space in my mind.
In your head?
No.
Yeah. So you mentioned hole in the sock, it gets thrown away. Absolutely agree 100%. Do you wait until an actual hole develops in the sock? Or when you see that it's getting like thin enough, do you just say, you know what? Within another wear or two, it's going to have a hole and you just go ahead and proactively throw it away?
It depends on where the
On the
wear.
sock. Okay, that's
on
fair.
Where the wear is. It really does.
That's fair.
Hole in a toe or heel, done.
Done.
Out.
Yes,
Out.
yes. Or thin enough to where you know that it's going to have it within the next wear
I'll
or
give
two.
it one more shot.
Okay.
I'll give it one more shot, and
All right,
then
that's
you know
fair.
once it's once the tire blows, it's out.
It's
We're
done. Yeah. Yeah, I don't just put another pair on top of it and go, it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
It's good enough for some of them.
Like a story that Josh told about maybe another article of clothing.
There's layering is a thing.
Yeah, layering.
When it comes to...
It is a thing.
It is.
But
And
nobody
so-
talked about this layering this article of clothing.
So apparently with shift beers, layering is 100% a thing, whether you are layering articles of clothing or whether you are layering like one alcoholic beverage on top of or into another.
Yeah.
It's all about
We should
adding
spaghetti.
and adding and adding.
And then we should cuvee.
And then, yes, it is. They need to do, well, they haven't really done a cuvee show. But they should do like a layering
Well, they
/
did.
cuvee.
Was it the July 4th one?
But that wasn't specifically about cuveeing. Although
They did cuvee.
they did
each
cuvee.
one
Yes, they
with
did.
the other.
They absolutely did. I was thinking about the adjunct, like bring your own adjuncts, but adjuncts are different than cuvee.
Yeah, totally.
So,
Yeah, it's
guys,
different.
we're giving you all the ideas today. So again, that's 60-40 split. Do a show about cuvées, like
Yeah.
what would make a good. Everyone brings
Yeah, I'm
2
gonna
or 3
need that
beers.
proposal
Brian,
by
that means
COB
you have to
tomorrow.
bring beers too. You've done really well the last couple episodes. You've actually brought stuff. If you do a cuvee episode, Brian, you need to participate.
It's one
Just
of those
throwing that
things
out
like
there.
it's one of those things like you expect the chef when you go to their house that they're going to have a killer spread, right?
Sure,
They're going to make a
sure.
killer meal.
Right,
well,
right.
they all show up to record and the brewer brings no beer. I mean, what the
What the F? I'm glad that we had the same
Yeah.
the
What
same
the F?
reaction to that one. Good God.
the hell?
Let's see, what else did we have? Speaking of Brian the Brewer guy, because we did kind of get a bit of a Brian the Brewer guy. Man, if only we knew someone that can make us a jingle for that. Just, throwing that into the universe.
Right.
He gave a Brian the Brewer guy segment, but he also gave a huge sneak peek onto something that the place they don't work at could have available for this weekend's Cider Fest.
Yes, he did.
Which, if you tie those two together, you know
yes,
where they
he
work
did.
at.
And
but
I talked to him
yeah,
earlier in the week.
that could be amazing.
Oh,
Could be. Could be.
It's a no from me, dog.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Are you going to be at Ciderpalooza?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. All right. I'm going to definitely make my best effort to get up there. I don't know what time, because it's like noon to midnight or noon to 10 or it's like 36 hours of cider.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
if our paths
on-
cross, hopefully.
I told them I'd be there, and then on paper my schedule is covered to where I can sort of pick when I'm going to be there. But
Okay.
I'll figure it out. I'm
All
going to
right.
be there. Yeah.
All right. Cool. They called
Yeah.
Goose Island.
Yeah.
Which I swear to God, if that phone number is real, that's like the best and worst company phone number.
What,
to
Goose
have.
Me?
Yeah. I get it, but at the same time, really, guys? I thought you were classier than that. Sort of? Kind of?
But would that have been a Goose Island number or
An AB
is that
InBev?
an
Yeah,
AB
did they have
InBev?
that number before they were absorbed by a larger corporation? That's a good question. I don't know. I really wasn't super familiar with Goose Island prior to them being bought out, so I never really looked up their customer care line.
All right.
But they called them.
Well, let me ask the Googles.
Yeah. Well, you asked the Googles. Chris, when they called Goose Island, apparently he is getting the hookup. They are going to be letting him know first. Be one of the first people in the world to know about the new Bourbon County variants that are coming out. And it was confirmed. I don't know if the contract's been signed yet, but there will be a Shift Beers collaboration, which is pretty freaking spectacular.
So I don't know if it was a Goose Island thing or if it's an AB InBev thing, but
There's
they're,
no,
they're not lying. It's
1-800 Goose Me. I feel like there are other breweries that I would expect that level of tongue-in-cheek punnery for their phone number to be before Goose Island. But again, I was never super familiar with Goose Island, in the past, so I don't know. Maybe it fits their brand perfectly, and I am just unawares.
Yeah, Julie, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to feel about it other than, yeah, it sounds good, but then when you think about it a little deeper, it's like, yeah, not so great.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether to blame it on AB InBev, if they initiated it, or if it was a Goose Island thing and they just rolled with it, or should we blame AB InBev
just because
for keeping it?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
like it's catchy, it's clever from a marketing standpoint. It makes people go, "Oh, hey, that's." I don't know. I don't feel like from what I know about the brand, which again I will admit is not much. That just doesn't feel like it fits the brand, and that's kind of, I guess, my ending comments about that.
They don't seem very
fun. You know what I mean? Like it's like, yeah, like exactly. It doesn't feel like it fits the brand.
No.
Right. I mean,
no.
Ooh, there we go.
There we go. Liam Neeson there for you.
No kidding. All right.
Well, how about that? Do you want to give the listeners a little bit of insight as to them giving insight into the whole Liam Neeson voice thing?
No.
Okay, there you go.
I'm still working on it. We can't reveal all the secrets, all the specialties, our celebrity contacts. We can't let people know how we got Morgan Freeman and Liam Neeson and Vladimir Putin. Like, we cannot reveal our sources for how we got these amazing contacts. But what we can reveal is the burp count for episode 96 of Shift Beers. Yes.
The burp count.
Which I'm glad that they explain it, so now we don't have to. We can just throw numbers out.
Should we intro the burp count?
Let's do it. Let's do it this time.
Okay.
Because we haven't done it in a couple weeks.
Who you want to get?
Let's get...
Who you want to get over here?
Liam's been around. Liam's just sitting over there enjoying a beer.
There?
Right. So let's... Hey, Liam. Would you mind doing this? Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get him a headphone.
Okay. Yeah.
They have a very particular set of skills. They're able to hunt you down and find you and then burp. Here comes the burp count. Now.
Man, Liam, thank you so much. Dude, that was awesome. That was great.
What? Whatever, Liam. Fuck you.
He's kind of an asshole.
Anyway, an asshole. I don't know what he's doing.
We appreciate what he did for us, but kind of an asshole just the same. All right, episode 96 of Shift Beers.
Go to Tahona and get a taco or something. Chill out.
Yeah. Or anyway, so I was going to say something about a hot dog, but whatever.
Wow.
Episode 96 of Shift Beers. The Corn Show, a.k.a. the final Seltzer show until we do another one. Their burp count for this episode, 76 burps. A few more than the last episode, so not bad. That is 152 ounces of your favorite beverage, which equals out to 9.5 pints. So you're going to be having a hell of a good time with all that seltzery if you participate in the burp game as you are listening to Shift Beers. And with that, Marco, I think we're done. I think this is a short episode, so we're going to do a bonus here after we wrap this one up, if that works for you.
Yeah, we only had a podcast and a piece.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it works for me.
All right, cool. Well, if you like what we do on this show, which hopefully you do if you've stuck around with us, if you're a new listener, thank you for getting to the end of the show. If you've been a listener for a while, we definitely appreciate you listening to us week after week. You can follow us on social media. We are at Truth Beer Pod. You can email us any questions, show ideas, anything like that to truthbeerpod@gmail.com. Any complaints about the show should be directed to @RagingHop on Twitter. And I think we're going to have a couple of those for our live show to read out. So that'll be exciting. Come to our live show September 12th at Fretboard Brewing Blue Ash. The show will start at about 7:30, but we'll probably be there a bit earlier than that if you want to say hi to us before the show. And go ahead.
Oh, one thing that I did, and I'm sorry I said no, we're just going to forget, move forward. Go ahead and listen to Shift Beers to find out, once that collaboration happens, what everybody's going to kiss.
Yes.
There you
That's
go.
a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one. Thank
sorry
you
to
for throwing that.
interrupt you,
No.
but go ahead.
That was important. We had both kind of forgotten. I'm glad that you brought that up. Last thing that I had to say is if you would like to monetarily donate to the show, you can do that by going to truthbeerpod.com. There is a nice blue support us link there. And because of people like you who have donated to us to buy us pints of beer, we have been able to upgrade our equipment more than once. And we can't thank you enough for it. So come see our live show, meet us. We would love to meet you guys in person, to talk to you. And until next week, have a great one. Marco, what are you doing next week? Same Monday or Tuesday?
Next week, I'm going to be talking about Cincinnati Craft Beer Podcast with you. And Monday, we will be live doing it.
Cheers. I'll see you there, man.
Cheers.